Wichita and throughout the world to make everyone smarter, wiser, and happier.
And Richard Simmons was going to talk about the first ever salad fashion show. So we'll be back with more Your Hour. Don't go away.
Don't go away. We'll be back with Chris Leary and terrific gift ideas for dads.
When your yard needs a cleanup and you need help. When your yard needs mowing and your neighbor's yard looks like this. Your shrubs need some trimming, Wichita Lawn Care does it all. Commercial and residential lawn maintenance, fully insured, offering contactless billing to keep you safe. Fair, dependable, and on time, services to match the budget, excellent customer service, a Christian family business, highly recommended on Google. Wichita Lawn Care LLC, owner Adam Fry, 316-393-4162. We take pride in what we do.
This is getting close to Father's Day, and I don't know how many of you have trouble buying for your fathers, but sometimes they are the hardest people in the world to buy a gift for. We have Chris Leary with us today to kind of help us with that. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing good, Cheryl. I'll tell you something. This year is going to be good for Dad, especially if he likes technology. Let's say he wants to extend the office all the way back to home, hanging out with the family. This little item is going to help him do that. It's the Sprint Trio 700P. You can email, do your scheduling, surf the internet at broadband-like speeds, and you can even watch TV with the Sprint PowerVision network. I'm talking about you can do sports, news, even weather. And this thing is really going to help Dad, like I said, get away from the office, get back towards home. And let's say he is a little tense from the office. You want to relax him a little bit? Well, Sanyo's got a massage chair that beats all other massage chairs. It's pretty unique where it actually knows how tall you are and it finds your neck, your shoulders, and your back, lower back, and it actually finds the problems there too. And it uses a technology that's very similar to what they use in lie detectors. And that is very, very comfortable, and it's very high tech.
Wow, that sounds interesting. Now, does that chair have a sensor where it can tell who's sitting in it?
Well, not who's sitting in it, but what size the person is sitting in it. Also, it focuses on the problems, and the sensors, they go for the body temperature, the pulse rate, and the perspiration.
Oh, that's very cool.
It's highly technological.
I'll bet.
Very comfortable. We have a lot of little tech goodies here. Let's say Dad's late periodically. This watch not only looks good, but it's water resistant, it's scratch resistant, and it's got a little antenna that hooks up with the atomic clock in Colorado, which makes it a very precise watch.
So at least he knows how late he is exactly.
Exactly. And let's say Dad likes to take pictures. He's a shutterbug. This is the Exelum digital camera. It's 6 megapixels, and it's got a gigantic LCD screen for the size of it. It's 2.2 inches. And it's got a lot of power in this tiny little camera. And that's, I tell you what, that's going to make some dad really, really happy this year.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say your dad's got a little kid in him. We all have a little kid in him, in us anyway. So this is Hot Wheels' new little item. It's called the Fury FTX, and it's a radio-controlled car, and you can have one for Dad, maybe one for the kids, and they can race it around the house, race it outside, and this will pump his adrenaline up and bring him back to the old days.
Well, then they could probably have races if that watch that you mentioned earlier has a stopwatch on it.
See? You're making the connections here. It all makes sense. How about your dad's record collection? You may not like it, but he does, and it might be a little outdated. Like the albums, well, we can turn the albums into CDs with this TIAC, and it gets analog signal and changes it into digital, and it can pretty much keep his record collection around for ages to come.
That's very cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's hard to do, but this little item can do it.
That's very cool. I might put that to work myself.
There you go. You got to wait for Mother's Day, I guess.
What about the dad who likes to golf?
Okay, well these are sunglasses. They look like sunglasses. It's the golf ball finders, and what they do, they block out the dark colors and brighten up the light colors. So if you're looking around in the grass, the golf balls just kind of pop out at you, and it kind of lowers the frustration if you lose the ball every once in a while in the rough.
Oh, and that probably hardly ever happens to you, does it?
Never, because I don't golf that much.
Okay.
Golf.
Problem solved.
Absolutely. We have a lot of information about these items, and as well as the prices at dailylounge.com.
Well, Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time to help us with this today because, like I said before, fathers sometimes are difficult to buy for. Mothers don't have any problem telling you what they want. Fathers
Exactly.
can always articulate.
Yeah, so no tie this year.
That's exactly right. Well, Chris, thank you so much.
Anytime.
Okay.
And I don't do ties.
I liked that massage chair. Did you see that?
No, I missed it. I was.
Oh, well, that massage chair looks really neat.
Yeah, that would be something you'd buy for me and you'd use.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking that very thing. And the other thing that interested me was the deal where you could take records and make them into CDs. Because, a lot of the 33s, 33, yeah, that's what they are. It's been so long
You
since
got 45s too, you know.
Well, I do, but, well, we both do. But if you don't transfer them over while they still play well, you could lose them.
Word has it that the 8-tracks will work on that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, do you have any 8-tracks?
Well, we both.
Yeah, not more than a couple dozen.
So what else did they show? The camera? I
Well,
saw
the digital camera. That looked interesting too. And then it was really small, something that would be easy to carry around and
in your pocket.
Something that you especially would use a lot.
It'd be a paparazzi.
Paparazzi?
Paparazzi.
But anyway, yeah, I thought, so you like that digital camera?
That was nice.
Because you've talked about that before.
That's nice.
So.
Those get real pricey when they get up around 6 meg. Our digital cameras we have here are larger. The lenses are bigger than that whole camera.
Yeah, that's true, and they're a little cumbersome for just everyday use.
The lens cap is bigger than that whole camera.
We'll be back with Jan Reckers from Interworks Holistic Health Center, so don't go away.
Jan Reckers from Interworks when your hour continues.
I thank God for my life and for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died. The ones that give their lives so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love.
Thank you. And welcome home.
Like our chicken fries.
Welcome back to your hour. Joining us now to talk about a condition called vitiligo. We're talking to Dr. Pearl Grimes, who is the director of Vitiligo and Pigmentation Institute of Southern California, and Neil Getz, who is a patient living with vitiligo. Hi, it's good to have you both here today.
Hello.
Hi, Cheryl. We're happy to be here with you.
So, Dr. Grimes, let's start with you. Can you tell us first off, what is vitiligo and how does it appear on the body?
Cheryl, vitiligo is an autoimmune condition. So the immune system sends in cells into the skin that attack and destroy the pigment producing cells in the skin. And these cells are called melanocytes. So when the melanocytes disappear, a white patch appears. completely void of any pigment. So this condition is chronic. It can wax and wane. It can appear on any area of the body, the face, the trunk, the extremities. And there's some myths surrounding vitiligo. One myth is that it's contagious. It's not contagious. Another myth is that it's a cosmetic condition. So we want to dispel that myth. It is a classic autoimmune disorder, and we have made significant advances in our understanding of vitiligo in the last 5 years. We've made enormous progress.
So, Neil, can you tell us about your dealings with vitiligo? How did it affect you, and when did you get it diagnosed?
I got it diagnosed about 3 years ago. It started presenting itself with the classic white patches under my lips, then on the sides of my nose, and eventually spreading to my entire forehead, which turned white. Now, I am of Eastern European descent. I do not go out in the sun. And so at first, it was kind of hard to see the difference between the normal skin and the affected skin until one day the dermatologist that I saw at the time said, I don't like what that looks like around your lips. I'd like you to stop using all your soaps, etc. And eventually she sent me to Dr. Grimes, who is the expert on this malady. And, when I went to see her, the depression kind of lifted because I was frightened. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if there was anything to do to address it. And when I met her on the first visit, I literally burst into tears because she took my hand. She said, we can get this, we can make a plan. And I thought there was hope.
Because when you don't know what it is, you don't know how serious it is or what else is it affecting.
Exactly.
So, Dr. Grimes, can you tell us what some of the common challenges are that people with vitiligo experience?
The patients with vitiligo experience many, many challenges. Number one, given the contrast between the white patch and normal skin, and the fact that we live in an aesthetically driven society, vitiligo is associated with significant emotional distress. The burden of disease is enormous. Patients experience low self-esteem, self-worth, isolation. So that's a major issue for many patients with this disease. Number two, one of the concerns is patients come in and they will cry because they don't know what to anticipate. Vitiligo can be very unstable. It can be stable for a while and then it can progress significantly. And unfortunately, Cheryl, we don't have the tools yet that allow us to predict where any given patient will fall. So you have to monitor your patients closely. And then there's the issue of the myths associated with vitiligo. The fact that the myth has been perpetuated that it's contagious. This is not a contagious condition. This is not a cosmetic disorder. It is an autoimmune disease where patients are more likely to develop other autoimmune disorders, and it should be managed and worked up accordingly.
So can the effects of vitiligo be reversed?
The effects of vitiligo can be reversed. Excuse me. This is a condition that we can manage with the current management tools in the toolbox.
Okay. So, Neil, can you tell us how this has affected, how vitiligo has affected your life?
Certainly. So I work behind the scenes in the entertainment business, but I'm often on the red carpet. I'm at events. I could be photographed, and I would look at these pictures, and I thought, I am not presenting myself in the best light. Therefore, I'm not going to be my best. And it was depressing. I didn't want to wear a full face of makeup. I didn't I didn't want to hide. And, when I would tell friends or family members, I just found out I have vitiligo and this is what it's doing to my skin, I would get answers like, well, you're a guy, it's not that important, you're vain, it's not such a big deal. But it was a big deal to me because I could see it. And I'll share with your audience that I'm a survivor of cancer. And somehow this diagnosis of vitiligo hit my self-esteem and my vanity, and it depressed me more than the cancer, because you can't see the cancer in the mirror every day. And if you tell somebody you have cancer, they say, okay, go to the front of the line at the grocery store. But they don't do that when you tell them you have vitiligo, because they don't know what it is and they don't understand that it is a true autoimmune condition that plays a part in your overall health. So it was a big deal. And until I got the help that I needed, it was something that was frightening to me.
So do you have any advice for others that are dealing with this disease or this condition?
I do. Number one, seek out a dermatologist who has the experience, the expertise in this particular area, because it's really a subset in the practice of dermatology. Get us information, get information. There are websites, thisisvitiligo.com. There are support groups. Don't be afraid of it. Knowledge is power. And, you can set a goal with your physician and you can get results that you will be happy with, and you'll feel a lot better.
Okay. Well, Dr. Grimes, can you tell us where we can send our viewers to learn more?
I agree with the data that Neil has just shared. We're so happy to partner with Insight in increasing vitiligo awareness today. We would strongly recommend that anyone who wants to increase their knowledge, their awareness of vitiligo, please go to the website. thisisvitiligo.com. It's a substantial resource for anyone living with vitiligo. And as Neil said, certainly you've got to find a physician who has a skill set and expertise in managing vitiligo, and also join a support group, because I think for patients suffering from this condition, there's nothing like speaking to another patient who has the condition, who has experienced some of the same life issues that you have in dealing with vitiligo. It becomes an enormous source of support for patients, for children with vitiligo, and the families of patients with vitiligo in general.
So, Dr. Grimes and Neil, I really want to thank you both for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, our pleasure and our honor in increasing vitiligo awareness.
All right. And we'll be back.
Every 36 seconds, a vehicle is stolen in the United States. Cars are an important investment, and you have the power to protect it. Remove valuables from your car or place out of view. Roll up your windows completely. Don't leave your car running while unattended, especially during the winter. And always lock your doors and take your keys or fob with you. If you know something about a vehicle theft, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB.
This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Welcome back to Your Hour. I'm here with Jan Reckers, whom we've missed. You were gone for 2 weeks, and then, well, for 3 weeks on this show, right, because of a scheduling snafu I made earlier. But we're glad to have you back, and we hope you enjoyed your trip.
Yeah, I did, but I'm glad to be back. It's good when you have a good life to come back to.
Yes.
So I actually wanted to talk today about, I'm actually going to tell a story today.
Okay.
Because being the perpetual guinea pig that I am, I like to use my own experiences to help illustrate concepts and points that I teach my clients. So
well, it gives them a lot more credibility.
Well, that's true. And I think we all learn a little bit better when we can see somebody, you know, see the results that other people get from putting certain things into practice. So one of the things that I noticed a big difference between this trip that I just took to Germany, that we just got back Sunday evening, and a year and a half ago I took the same trip to Germany. And a year and a half ago I went over there by myself. It was I was under a lot of stress. I was staying with new in-laws that I didn't know very well, and I was there for 6 weeks, and strange country, and you know, just the whole family dynamics that, you know, can cause stress. And eating a diet that I certainly wouldn't eat on a daily basis. It was bread and cheese and chocolate and eggs every day.
Oh, right.
At least
it doesn't sound bad so
it's
far.
Not bad. It's very enjoyable. But it's not something that I normally did. And so for me, it was a really big change, because, you know, here I am vegetarian and eating a lot of soy products, and you can't get those things over there very easily. And so bread and cheese and chocolate pretty much at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. So within about a week, I was sick. I was very sick. I had sinus stuff going on. I had sore throat. I had ulcers in my mouth. I had a bladder infection. It just all hit at once. My immune system just bailed on me. And it took, I actually had a cough for about 6 weeks. So I had a cough coming home. It stayed with me. So it just really, my immune system just quit. So fast forward to a year and a half later, and to the trip that we just got back from, we had pretty much the same environment that we were going to. We were eating bread and cheese and chocolate and farm fresh eggs, and it's all good food, but again, not what my body is used to.
Right.
So we had the same, you know, stress factors and the same family dynamics, staying with his parents, and, you know, just travel stress and all those things. All those things were the same. I never once felt like I was getting sick, or like I even had to try and boost my immune system to keep from getting sick. I felt strong, I felt energetic. It only took me about a day or day and a half to get over the jet lag, which is, before it took me about 3 weeks.
Wow.
So that kind of showed the difference of where I was at. And the only thing that changed in that equation was me. In the last year and a half, I've done a tremendous amount of spiritual and emotional work using energetic therapies and acupuncture and just all types of alternative therapies. And basically what I've done is work to get emotional and spiritual toxins out of my physical body. And again, this is one of those things that people don't understand. It's hard to explain. If you haven't experienced it, it can be kind of hard to understand.
Well, it for a lot of people, if they've not experienced it, it's hard for them to believe it can actually work.
Absolutely, yes. And that's one of the things that, you know, I say, well, look at my life as an example, because maybe it'll take you one step closer to understanding how this can work. And the reason that I bring this up is because I want people to understand that the first time I went over, I did a lot to build up my physical body. I was very focused on, you know, getting myself built up, my immune system built up, so that wouldn't happen, and it still did. I didn't address the spiritual or the emotional aspects of my being, and therefore it just all collapsed once I got there. This time, I was very intensely addressing the emotional and spiritual aspects, as well as maintaining the physical things that I was doing, and eating well and hydrating and all those things. But this time it stayed, because I had an inner harmony at my core, so that whatever chaos I was going into, you know, whether it was the chaos of O'Hare Airport or just family, you know, whatever I was going into, it didn't change what I was at my core. So one of the aspects of this concept is the fact that we teach our bodies how to behave and how to respond to stress by the way that our minds, our spirits, and our emotions respond. So if we get the emotional body and the spiritual body in line and harmonious, the physical body says, okay, that's where I'm getting my lead. That's what I'm going to do. So it's almost like the physical body is like a child that learns from the parents, and the parents are the spiritual and the emotional bodies. So when they're in line and they're leading by example, the physical body just sort of follows along.
It's all to do with the whole balance theme.
Exactly, yes. And keeping that balance internally and at your core, it doesn't matter what things, you know, you do off your routine. For example, you know, the foods that I was eating, you know, that didn't throw me this time. And, you know, like I said to you, I wouldn't spend money on a plane ticket to Germany if I couldn't have chocolate.
Well, exactly.
I mean, what's the point? It's a waste of money.
Exactly, yeah.
So, you know, you want to be able to experience life, and you don't want to be restricted and have to say, well, no, I have to stay on my diet or I'm going to get sick. That's when you're still in a state of bondage to your physical condition. And, you know, everybody has places that they have to work up to, and we all are at different places in our physical health. But we want to try to continue to move to a place where you don't have that emotional baggage that is depressing the immune system 24/7, so that when you do eat a piece of chocolate that's not typically on your diet, everything just collapses.
Yeah.
And that's what happens for a lot of people. They're holding it together, and then they, you know, they do one thing as a treat, and it's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Right.
So, you know, we want that camel's back to be really strong.
Exactly.
So that, you know, you can pile loads of straw on there for a short amount of time, and you're able to carry it. And that's, you know, that's really what enjoying life is about, that you're able to sample those things that you enjoy. I mean, you know, eating bread and cheese every morning is part of being a German. I mean, that's just what you do. And so if I weren't able to do that, I would really feel like I was missing out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main goals of maintaining your health and getting yourself to a place where you are balanced, you know, most of the time, so that you can take a 2-week vacation.
Sure.
And not have to worry about, you know, I'm going off my diet, I'm going off my routine, I'm going to have to, you know, clean up this mess.
Well, and it's so nice when you don't have to be in conflict with yourself.
Right, right. And you don't have that psychological conflict of, you know, no, I shouldn't have eaten that.
Yeah.
You know, you can just, it's just a simple process. And there's no messy cleanup afterwards.
Absolutely. Well, Jan, it's such a pleasure to have you back.
Well, I'm glad to be back.
We'll see you next week.
Okay.
And we'll be back with Richard Simmons. Don't go away.
We'll be back with Richard Simmons.
That's my neighbor. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, don't you think it'd be a good idea if you called 811 and get your underground utilities marked?
This isn't my first project.
I think there's an oil pipeline goes through here somewhere.
It's on my neighbor's side.
Oh, you think so? Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You need a towel there, Slick?
Welcome back to Your Hour. I'm here with Richard Simmons, who is presenting us with the world's first ever salad fashion show. Hi, Richard.
Morning, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
What is that on your head?
Well, do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Well, I couldn't find my lunchbox, so I decided I'd just have it handy so that when it came lunchtime, I'd know
You could just eat it. But you know what? Wishbone put out this amazing product. It's called Salad Spritzer. You know, the average American puts 100 to 150 calories of dressing on their salad. So Salad Spritzer created a new salad dressing in a spray bottle, which means instead of glopping all that dressing, you have one spray is 1 calorie. It takes about 10 to 15 sprays to do a salad. And it's in the stores now. And we were saying, how can we introduce this brand new product to America? And I said, let's do a fashion show.
Of
Two
course.
designers designed dresses made of all fruits and vegetables. We went to New York last week at Grand Central Station, and we put on a fashion show that no one's ever seen before, because all the dresses were made of fruits and vegetables. Carrots, tomatoes, pomegranates. This lady is wearing 20 different salads on her dress, Cheryl. Let me show you that in a minute. She has a colander on her head cleaning the vegetables, but down on her dress, and you thought your hat was cute, there's 20 different mixed green salads in plastic containers. This next lady coming up, all lettuces, butter lettuce and endive lettuce and cabbages. everyone had such a great time at this. It was a lot of fun, and we had a charity event, and the money went to America's Second Harvest that feeds people all over the country. And I got to meet some great people. And we also created, for your viewers, if you would like some free salad recipes, go to salad-lovers.com. That's salad-lovers.com, and you can have the free recipes. And you know, we're kidding around about all this fun stuff, but the truth is, if you need to lose some weight, salads can be your best friend.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, this time of year, salads are really flavorful because you can put so many.
Oh, there's so much produce out there. I know in Wichita, like everyone else, they have those farmers markets, and early in the morning, people go on Sundays and get all the fresh produce. I mean, you know, we're in a country now where there's more obese and overweight children, teenagers, and adults. More people are getting sick, more people on medication because they just can't stop this eating. And all I can say is get up in the morning and count your blessings. Think of all the people that you love and that love you. Think of all the wonderful gifts that God has given you. And then after you've counted your blessings, say a prayer that that day is going to be a great day for you. And plan your meals and have a salad a day and try to make the time to work out and be positive and do good things for yourself and others. That's my whole philosophy of life, Cheryl. You know, I'll be 58 years old next month. And every year I get in better shape. Every year I try harder to be the best I can be, to be a good example for everyone out there. 350,000 Americans died of obesity-related diseases last year, and that's got to stop.
Well, Richard, and we really appreciate the work that you do. Thank you so much for joining us.
Keep spraying, eat a salad, and God bless, and wear that hat tonight, honey.
I will.
Bye-bye.
You know, if he ever comes out of his shell, he's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. Well, you've talked to a lot of very famous notables.
Yeah, I have. And it's been a lot of fun. He was one of the most fun to talk to because he's so totally uninhibited, and I really like that. But he had a lot of good things to say. There is a lot to be said about eating right and eating well.
He's very passionate about what he is talking about, too.
And he practices it. And, you know, I think what I really like about Richard Simmons is he is sincere, and he is genuine, and he's compassionate. And when you see him talking to people who have weight issues or health issues that he can help them with, he truly wants to help them, not just to make himself look better, but because he wants them to do well. He wants them to look better. He wants them to feel better, for sure.
If he was still doing his television show, we certainly would have carried it.
Sure. Well, maybe we can talk him into it.
Have him come here and produce it.
There you go, in Park City.
Park City.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's a great idea. In fact, I have to mention something in passing. We were late getting our front door unlocked today. In fact, we didn't get it unlocked until Jan got here to do the show. And she said when she got here and the door was locked, she thought, oh my gosh, I'm gone 2 weeks and they've already moved.
Not yet. No,
so anyway. But we haven't. We'll let you know. We will leave a forwarding address. We'll be back in a couple minutes with more Your Hour.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Welcome back to Your Hour. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to be talking about bone cancer, bone marrow cancer. It was a good interview, but it wasn't nearly as much fun as the interview I did with Richard Simmons.
Yes. Well, here's our answer to Richard Simmons, our own health guru, R.J. Dickens in the newsroom.
Nominated for a 2005 Heartland Emmy Award for Best Dayside Newscast, KCTU reports in Your Hour. An investigation of Wichita scrap metal companies nets 11 undocumented aliens. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm R.J. Dickens. It's 88 degrees at Wichita's Mid-Continent Airport. Here's what you'll be talking about this afternoon. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials this morning announced the arrest of 11 undocumented aliens in conjunction with a series of raids Tuesday by Wichita police at 3 scrap metal businesses. Wichita police called in ICE when they suspected that a number of employees at the 3 locations may have been living and working in this country in violation of federal law. 10 of the 11 were Mexicans. The remaining alien was a 55-year-old Cuban who was already in removal proceedings. The other aliens ranged in age from 18 to 47. 4 of the aliens, including the Cuban, have criminal records and are in custody. The remaining 7 were given notices to appear and released on their own recognizance under an order of supervision, requiring them to report to authorities on a regular basis pending disposition of their cases. The arrests were among 9 busts in 7 states announced by the agency this morning. Kansas U.S. Senator Pat Roberts says the death of al-Qaeda's frontman in Iraq is a damaging blow to the terrorist organization. Abu Musab al-Zarqawi was killed by U.S. forces last night in a bombing raid on a safe house 30 miles outside Baghdad. Roberts, chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, says new CIA Director General Michael Hayden told him better cooperation, hard work, and patience paid off in finding al-Zarqawi. Roberts warns that success may be followed by retaliation with an increase in violence, but Americans should not get discouraged. Wichita police this morning discussed details of stepped-up traffic enforcement in West Wichita. Beginning Monday, a supervisor and 4 to 8 officers will be assigned to traffic duty at least 3 days a week. In the first 5 months of the year, there were 1,422 automobile accidents in the city, 17 of which led to fatalities, 8 in West Wichita. A conflict of interest on city arts funding? The Wichita Eagle reports that 7 of the 11 members of a committee charged with allocating city funds for arts have connections to some of the organizations requesting the money. Among the connections reported by the paper, Jan McKay is the executive director of Old Cowtown. The county-operated museum requested $274,000 and received $50,000. Monica Flynn is the executive director of the Wichita Children's Dance and Theater Center. They requested and received $50,000. Michael Dwyer is on the advisory council of Wichita State's Ulrich Museum of Art. The museum requested $25,000 and received $20,000. Jenny Becker, Irene Hart, Steve Peters, and Janet Toomey are members of the Arts Council. That organization withdrew its request for $10,000 before the allocation process began. Each Wichita City Council member appoints 1 person to the committee, while the Arts Council made 4 additional appointments. City officials and those close to the process say that even in a city Wichita's size, it's impossible to filter out all conflicts of interest. Mayor Carlos Mayans told the Eagle this is similar to attorneys sitting on the Judiciary Committee in the Kansas legislature. But some of those who requested funds with no connections on the committee aren't so sure. The Museum of World Treasures is declining its allocation of $5,000 because they don't think the process is fair. They had requested $100,000. Kansas' other U.S. senator says House passage of his Broadcast Decency Act is a victory for children and families. The House passed the bill late Wednesday on a 379 to 35 vote. The bill, sponsored by Sam Brownback, now goes to President Bush for his signature. It's 90 degrees under clear skies here at the KCTU studios in downtown Wichita. Taking a look at current conditions here in south central Kansas. Winds are from the south at 8 miles per hour. Relative humidity is 45%, and the barometric pressure is 30.13 inches. Storm Predator 5 shows just a little activity to the northwest of Manhattan in its 300-mile sweep. Your Storm Predator 5 cast for Wichita and the 4 cities. This afternoon, clearing. Highs in the mid-90s, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, lows 65 to 70, south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. And for Friday, mostly sunny, highs near 100, south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Wall Street, the indices have gained some upward momentum over the last 30 minutes, but buyers still remain a reluctant bunch. At noon Eastern, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 133 points to 10,797. The NASDAQ was down over 40 points to 2111. The Standard & Poor's 500 was down 16 1/3 to 1239. And the KCTU River City Index of Wichita, the four cities' 20 largest publicly traded employers, is down $11.39 to $438.61. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. In sports, Royals players who were once teammates of Jason Grimsley rallied in support of the veteran pitcher yesterday as Grimsley prepared to leave the Arizona Diamondbacks and return to his home in Kansas City. Grimsley is under siege by the federal government for his involvement in a major drug case and was granted a release from the Diamondbacks. Mike Sweeney says he's surprised by the Grimsley story. Grimsley played a major role as a setup man in Kansas City's 83-79 season in 2003, the only winning season the Royals have had since 1994. And finally, an Iowa woman finds herself in more trouble with the law after ordering her son to sell some pot to bail her out of jail. 38-year-old Elaine Baker was already charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and child endangerment. But then she called her son from the jail and asked him to get the pot out of the refrigerator to sell it to post bond. Baker remains in jail. Cheryl will be back at 7 tonight for the River City Forum, and we'll be back with Dr. Brian Dury and Hardy Jones as your hour continues.
The DAV thrift stores would like you to remember it's the soldier, not the reporter, who gives freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who gives freedom of speech. It's the soldier, not the protester, who permits the demonstration. It's the flag-draped coffin that allows the burning of our nation's flag. The DAV supports all veterans. You help by shopping and donating clothing, furniture, office equipment, shoes, toys, and vehicles at DAV thrift stores in Wichita.
Well, if your life revolves around fitness, or even if it's a major priority, you're in the right place. Fitness expert Dave Sinclair joins us today to show us how to level up our lifelong fitness journey. Hi, Dave. It's good to have you here.
So good to be with you. Thank you.
So, what kind of tips do you have for making making fitness a part of our lifestyle versus just finding a quick fix?
You don't want the quick fix. The quick fix doesn't work. It doesn't work long term. What works is a commitment to health and wellness. And what works also is just a couple of things I'd like to lay out for you. First and foremost, find a form of exercise that you enjoy doing. Right. That's important. If you enjoy it, you stay consistent. If you stay consistent, you get the results. And it's not just about the exercise, but it's about what you put into your body. So by and large, as much as you can, opt for healthy foods that fuel you.
Right. Well, and I think sometimes we just have to learn how to plan things, because if you don't plan, you wind up being vulnerable to the things that are out there that you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a plan and you have to stay motivated. That's a real big thing, right? Staying motivated. How do we stay motivated? We are motivated by accomplishments. We're motivated by progress. So set realistic goals, track your progress, and then celebrate your victories. I mean, for me personally, I'm always looking to not only achieve my next goal, but I want to like smash my next goal. And so anytime I find a product that helps me do that, I get really happy, and I'm really happy about what I'm showing you here today. To go harder and support post-workout muscle recovery, I love this product. This is Dymatize ISO 100 hydrolyzed whey protein powder. So it's a whey protein isolate, which means ultra fast absorbing for super quick muscle recovery. It also means it's been filtered, so excess lactose and fat and sugar and carbs have been removed. Maximum purity, no excess. That makes it a real go-to for athletes. It is also designed for maximum mixability and gains, meaning mix it in milk, mix it in water, or you can stick it in a favorite recipe like Fruity Pebbles Rice Krispie Treats, which you're seeing right here. And there's 11 different crave crushing flavors in all, but ISO 100, I think that's about the best protein in the game right now. Some athletes prefer plant-based protein, which is also great, but just make sure you're getting more than one source of plant protein. That way you get more essential aminos. So Dymatize Complete Plant Protein is a vegan powerhouse because 100% of the protein is derived from 5 different plant-based ingredients. That means a protein and amino acid profile that cannot be beat. 25 grams of protein here as well. And info for you on all these great products at dymatize.com.
Does it taste good?
Tastes amazing. There's fruity pebbles. There's cocoa pebbles. There's mocha. There's cookies and cream. There's chocolate. There's 11 different flavors. If you can't find something you like with 11 choices, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help you. I guarantee you, you find 3 or 4 that you really, really love, and then they're all very good. They're all excellent.
Yeah, well, anything with chocolate is going to be okay.
Chocolate's going to get you every time, right? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
And if you throw a little peanut butter in there too, I'm good with that.
Okay, that works too. Yeah, we got you covered there too.
But you know, staying motivated is difficult for a lot of us. I've been yo-yo dieting most of my life, but now I'm on a routine where I'm intermittent fasting, and now I seem to be able to maintain what I need to maintain.
Different things work for different people. We're all different, right? So we're all gonna, we're all different. We're all gonna react differently to different types of training and different eating plans and that sort of thing. But whatever your eating plan is, the Dymatize products are great to be used in conjunction with whatever your eating plan is. Because, when you're training, no matter how intense you're training, protein is extremely, extremely important.
Sure.
And you're talking about finally getting on track. That's congrats to you. I mean, if you're already on your fitness journey as you are, the Dymatize products will help you up your game. And if you're not on your fitness journey, what I would say to you is focus on everything you get, because you get a lot. It's not just looking better. Everybody wants to look better. I get it. But it's about feeling better, mental, physical, and emotional benefits. It is about increased energy. It is about sharper mind, better mental acuity. It is about your mood, your disposition. It's about dealing with stress and anxiety in a much more efficient way. There are so many things beyond looking better when you get on a fitness, health, and wellness routine. So I always tell people, no matter what your hopes, dreams, goals, aspirations are for this life, it's all enhanced if you get the physical side of the equation clicking correctly. So sound body, sound mind.
So does Dymatize also help regulate your blood sugar?
Yeah, I mean, anything that you do in terms of enhancing your protein intake is going to be really broad-based, efficient for your whole entire system. So, like I said, everything is always going to vary from person to person.
Sure.
But the Dymatize products, 25 grams of protein is a real, real good amount of protein, because your body can only utilize so much protein at a time. And you can't go wrong with Dymatize products. There's other products out there, and they will sometimes be a little bit antithetical to what the big culprit, you mentioned sugar. The big culprit with a lot of other products is they're like loaded with sugar and sodium and things like that. These products have been really just dialed in. That's what I love about the Dymatize products so much. So yeah, so just whatever you're doing, it's going to work in conjunction with that. And depending on what your goal is too, if you go to dymatize.com, there's a section where you can punch in your goal. So whatever your goal is, maybe your goal is to lose weight, but maybe your goal is, I want to, pack on muscle. You're a 22-year-old guy and you want to gain muscle. Whatever that goal is, you go to dymatize.com, you punch that in. It'll give you suggestions of Dymatize products that will help you accomplish that goal.
Very cool. Well, Dave, it was a real pleasure visiting with you today. Thanks for joining us.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more.
When your yard needs a cleanup and you need help, when your yard needs mowing and your neighbor's yard looks like this, your shrubs need some trimming, Wichita Lawn Care does it all. Commercial and residential lawn maintenance, fully insured, offering contactless billing to keep you safe, fair, dependable, and on time, services to match the budget, excellent customer service, a Christian family business, highly recommended on Google. Wichita Lawn Care LLC, owner Adam Fry, 316-393-4162. We take pride in what we do.
Welcome back to your hour. I think today would be a good day to visit the movies.
At least plan for the weekend.
Yeah, we saw a little blurb on TV the other evening about a prairie home companion.
You're thinking about the other.
I know, old habits die hard. Anyway, so we thought, when is that going to be released?
It opens this week.
Okay.
Now, what the storyline behind it is, there's a little radio station down, I think it was in Texas, that was doing these live dramas, kind of like KCTU, you know? And the rest of the world kind of moved on, and that type of programming kind of dropped off, and this little radio station was sitting there kind of lost.
Still doing it.
Yeah, it's still doing it. Well, then some of the big corporations came along and bought it, and this is the trials and tribulations that the radio station experienced when the big boys came to town.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the Prairie Home Companion.
Hello, everybody, on a Saturday night. Welcome to a live broadcast of A Prairie Home Companion.
A Prairie Home Companion. It was a live radio variety show. The kind that died 50 years ago, but somebody forgot to tell them until this night.
What are you writing? Poem. What's it about? Suicide. Oh.
Big corporation down in Texas had bought up the radio station.
Well, this isn't really going to be your last show, is it?
Every show's your last show. That's my philosophy.
Thank you, Plato.
It was curtains, and everybody knew it. A lot of good people up there. These folks put their lives into this.
Well, now they can put their lives into something else.
You're going to say something about it. How about just a moment of silence?
Silence on the radio. I don't know how that works.
Way down upon that old Mississippi.
Hey, Lola. Heard you're going to sing a song for us.
I only know my own songs.
Well, sing one of them then.
They're mostly about death.
Oh.
She shot the bastard in the heart and ruined his nice suit.
I used to listen to this show every week.
Well, it was great in its time, but the time's up. Life moves on.
Bad jokes, Lord, I love you.
About that obscene song you sang last week.
I'll give you my moonshine if you show me your jug.
Bad jokes for me.
Here's to happy endings.
Happy endings.
We come from people who brought us up to believe that life is a struggle, and if you should ever feel really happy, be patient, this will pass.
Oh, you might think about cutting down on the desserts and also possibly sex with men.
Now I ask you, doesn't that look like something that would happen to KCTU?
It looked really interesting. A lot of big names in that.
Big names.
Really. Lily, I was real surprised when I saw Lily. I'd heard about some of the other people being in it. I hadn't heard Lily Tomlin was in it. I really like her.
We'll have to go check that out.
Yeah.
We'll give you a report on it. Another thing, we saw a movie last weekend that had gotten really bad reviews.
Uh-huh.
And that was... Anyway, we saw the movie that was, well, we'll think of it after a while.
I'm drawing a blank, but
Yes.
anyway, but we enjoyed it.
It was a
But-
good movie,
Mhm.
yes. And we'll tell you later what it was.
It was Jennifer Aniston and
Breaking Up.
Yeah,
Breakup.
The Breakup. Vince Vaughn, and we really enjoyed it. I think that both of them did a good job in it, and it actually was well written because it was. You can see you see this type of situation happening all the time. It
I
was
think the
very
problem
real.
with that movie
is too close to home.
Too close to home. That's right. And some of the people that were previewing it or reviewing it
Mhm.
had never gone through it.
Oh, that's very likely.
You know, if they hadn't gone through it, didn't know what to expect.
There you go.
So we've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. And
But anyway, another DVD that was released this week was Mr. and Mrs. Smith, just in time for the birth of their daughter.
That's right. And now we see why they got together. They worked well, and they ended up not shooting each other, and that's the basis for a lot of marriages. Let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
They are the world's most deadly assassins. Their identities are a secret, even from each other.
So how's work?
We had a little trouble with the commission. So how's Lena?
Are you looking for a job or something? You are the job. Had a few problems ourselves. Did you do something new?
I added peas.
Ah, peas. I love my wife, but there are times.
There's this huge space between us, and it just keeps filling up with everything that we don't say to each other.
What do you think she learned to shoot like that?
Looks like it's government or something.
You've just been identified by a competing agent. How are you going to handle it?
I'm gonna borrow this.
Yeah.
Next summer,
Sweetheart.
love gets lethal.
You have an unusual problem, Jane. You obviously want me dead. And I'm less and less concerned for your well-being. So what do we do?
From the director of The Bourne Identity.
Come on, sweetheart. Come to daddy.
Who's your daddy now?
Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie,
You still alive, baby?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
You know that you're ticking.
It was a good movie.
You know, I heard some people say that movie was hyped so much that it couldn't possibly live up to the hype.
Right.
And I would disagree with that because I really did enjoy that movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
They held this one longer than normal because this came out last summer, and they're just now releasing the DVD.
So
they held it longer. That indicates that it was doing well overseas.
And in the box office, yeah.
So, anyway, what do we have coming up for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's going to be a busy day. We've got, well, as soon as I turn enough pages here, we got Jennifer Heineke from the Wichita Public Library. We have Pat Jonas and Jennifer Knight from Specialized Transportation. They'll be promoting the amateur poker tournament that'll be going on in June. Paul Rosales from Remax Realty Professionals will be here tomorrow. And we will have Robert Giason, I always have trouble pronouncing his name, from RAM, the bicycle race, the Race Across America. And he's going to be coming to talk about it pre-race. And then next Friday, we'll have some people from one of the teams that's actually participating, and they'll be talking about it as well.
It's very timely right now because there have been several people riding on the streets that have gotten injured and killed.
Yes.
Tomorrow we'll probably read the opinion line. In today's opinion line, there was a lot of things about, let's get them off the streets. Let's make them ride on the bicycles or on the bicycle paths.
Well, and in fact, in the paper, it did mention one person who rides his bicycle in Wichita on a regular basis, and he said that he'd been in St. Paul, Minnesota, where they actually have bicycle lanes. And he said he'd like to see Wichita do that. And I'm thinking that sounds like a good idea.
Well, because of the advent of the DUIs, there's so many people riding bicycles because of that.
Well, there are, yeah.
And the cost of fuel, people are going to be riding bicycles more. It may be a very, very good idea.
I think it's a great idea. And then, of course, next Monday we'll be back with Bob Nyer from the Sedgwick County Extension Office.
You can see some flowers and trees.
And yeah.
Bugs.
Yeah, bugs, yeah. Yeah, sometimes he brings little critters with him.
Yes, he does.
But anyway, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. We enjoyed bringing it to you.
We hope you'll always make this hour your hour and spend it with us. We enjoy doing it for you. And we wish you a great and happy afternoon.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.